Well, um, I don't think it's official yet. Has it become official?
No, not yet.
Okay, so I'll answer that when it becomes official. But you know how much I like the guy and how I feel about him. So we'll, once it becomes official, then I'll really start thinking about it.
If it does become official, do you think you guys would go after another starting pitcher? Do you think you kind of set the six you have coming back?
I don't know if we're set or not. Do you ever have enough pitching, especially starting pitching? You don't know. You'd hate to have somebody go down and then, you're in need of some more pitching. But everybody who wants to talk to us, they want some of our pitching. And so, I don't know. We'll just have to see. Like I said, you never have enough pitching.
What else do you think your club needs to sort of sustain the level of play you had last year?
Well, I've always yearned for a left-handed pitcher. Yeah, still doing it. And you always need left-handed bat. And we don't know what the situation is with with Yuli or the situation with Aledmus Diaz. I mean, you want to shore up your bench strength the best you can, and so we'll see who's left out there and who's available, who wants to come to us, and who we want to try to sign.
How much have you been involved since the organization parted ways with James? How much have you been involved, and who have you been kind of in contact with as the point for that?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, they ask me questions, and they're not doing a whole bunch without at least having me involved. And I spent a lot of time talking to Jim Crane, also talking to Bagwell, talking to Enos, and also talking to Giles a little bit. So I've talked to almost everybody.
So when they sign up for you, they make that decision.
Well,
Jim?
yeah, I mean, you give away that much money. I don't have that money, and I don't have that much. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when it comes to money and personnel decisions, I mean, it starts at the top.
Have you talked to James?
I talked to him a couple weeks ago, and he's doing pretty good, and he's in a situation where I wish him well because he's in a good situation, and I'm sure that he has some people, some organizations that are suitors that are trying to figure out how we do things, and that makes him valuable.
You surprised at all how that went down?
Kinda, yeah, but I mean, there isn't much that surprises me now about this world. Every time I think I'm going to be surprised, something else pops up.
Is it a sense of relief, elation that you finally have the World Series championship as a manager done?
Well, I think it was more relief for everybody to quit asking me. I'm serious. Yeah, I know. I mean, I just knew in my heart it was going to happen, sooner or later. I didn't know when exactly. And I've always said if I win one, I want to win two. So now I'm in a position to win two. If I lost, then I'd have had to go 2 more years to win two. Which is tough back to back. And I don't know. It's just like I said in the press conference in the World Series last year. As much as Hank liked me, it was the year of the Braves, and so I just thought this year, okay, Hank, Braves won theirs, and you still be for me. And my mom and dad, and my mom died this year, and it's like, I mean, sometimes things are already written, and you just don't know when, and you just don't want to screw it up.
Well, you don't feel any more sense of accomplishment, do you? I mean, you've had a great career, great life. I mean, this is just sort of like cherry on the cake at this point. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
it's nice to have, but I mean,
Well, you know what it means. I mean, it means a lot to my family. It means a lot to my homeboys, homegirls, people all over the country. I get calls. The main thing is that I don't think people would have had a, they say, well, good people have some good things happen to them sometime. Or also they say that they're telling me that they don't know what they'd have done as far as faith and about perseverance that I talk about, And I think that's given some people a lot of hope, for things that they aspired for, especially if they've been aspiring for something for a long, long time. I mean, it's easy when you accomplish your goals like right away, but what happens when you got to take a long time to accomplish a goal? A lot of people lose faith in the meantime, and I think that perhaps that I've given some people some faith.
Dusty, what about one move that has become official, of course, is Jacob deGrom. I was wondering, you just saw Boch, Mike Maddox, they signed deGrom. Everybody's obviously going to be gunning for you in the West. I just wonder how you size up Texas as they're making forward.
Well, hey, not only Texas. I mean, you look at Anaheim too. They had a Renfro, and they got to have a healthy Rendon. You look at Seattle. They had Colton Wong, and then they had Teoscar, and they added what's his name, Castillo, the pitcher last year. I mean, I'm predicting it's going to take less games to win our division than any time since I've been here, just simply because there's more parity and some team that you were 14-4 against last year, you could end up 7 or whatever, because they're going to chip away at there's no real doormats that you think you're just going to go in and sweep them. So that's what I'm predicting, and I'm hoping that while they get better, that we continue to try to get better. Because they've gotten better. I said that last year. All of them. Yeah. I mean, the Angels got hurt, so we'll see.
Dusty, Jim has said that catching is an area that they're looking at. How do you balance wanting maybe help there with everything Maldonado needs to the clubhouse and just kind of what you did to guide the pitching staff last year?
Well, that's a good, you can say what we need, but it's harder to make trades than ever. It's harder to sign guys than ever. And so, I think we just have to be prepared. If we do sign somebody, then you got to be prepared to maybe let one of your young catchers go, because it's going to stunt his growth. But if you don't sign him, then you got to figure out which young catcher that you're going to possibly take Maldy's spot, which is a pretty good situation when you got a older catcher and then a younger couple catchers that's being groomed to take his job, and you don't know whether one of those guys could be the next Johnny Bench or Manny Sanguin. I mean, you just don't know. I mean, they have the skill, I think, to in the near future, to possibly be an impact player.
In an ideal world, how much would you like Jordan to play left field next year?
I don't know, probably 65-70% of the time. But again, the key word is ideal, and depends on how he feels. And he's getting better, and he enjoys playing the outfield. I mean, you have to enjoy playing defense, and he enjoys it a lot, especially when he throws somebody out or makes a great play, and you can see him getting better daily.
How do you think Abreu's going to fit into your clubhouse? And what do you think he'll mean for Jordan Alvarez specifically?
Well, I don't think he'll have any trouble fitting in our clubhouse, period. I mean, the quality guys that we have. Also, I've heard that from Chicago that he was he was going to be a great addition to ours. I'm hearing that the younger guys really admire and look up to him. And maybe some of the younger players in Chicago should have listened to him some more. So, we don't have any. There won't be a problem here.
You have your whole coaching staff back next year, and just what will that do? Just you had this consistent staff here now for a few years.
Yeah, well, consistency is the key. You know, I mean, they know what I require. I know what their strengths and what their weaknesses are, and you try to put people in areas where they will most likely succeed, and that makes it easier on the players also, you know, to know who they can go with this problem, or who they can go to with this other problem, or where to go to get whatever information that they have. Is sort of like having, our staff is like having going to the library, you know. I know you guys ain't been to the library probably about 40 years, but I used to go to the library, and you just got to know where to look when you go to the library, because it's all there. And my staff is like going to the library.
Dustin, how important was it for you to keep that bullpen together? I know you guys brought back Raphael.
Well, I mean, when you got one of the best bullpens in the world, it's just very important. And there are people that are trying to pluck some of our bullpen from us, and I don't blame them. And you won't be able to hold them forever, but you gotta, you know, you just don't want wholesale changes if you're gonna pluck somebody in or out or whatever it is you want to do it, you know, a little bit at a time. And I'm hoping that we don't have to do it at all.
I know you only had him for a season. What was it like to manage for him?
Awesome. I mean, he's a man, and I told him when the season started that the only guys that I've never managed a Cy Young award winner. And so at the end of the year, when he got his Cy Young, he says, you know, now you got one, you know. And, you know, he was a pleasure to manage because I knew what I was getting every day. He's probably gotten a little more humility since he got hurt and was out, and you appreciate what you have now. And then he has a little girl, and that gives you a different outlook on life. And you know, I love it when I can go full bullpen day before he pitches, full bullpen after day he pitches, and then he would stop all losing streaks and prolong winning streaks.
Dustin, what advice would you have for whoever manages Verlander next, if it's not you?
Well, according to you guys, it'd be Bucky. You got to ask Bucky that. No, I'm sure I'll talk to Buck.
You're the one that would have the advice, though. He doesn't know what it's like.
I know, man.
Dusty, Ben Verlander here. Justin
Please.
speaks very, very highly of you as a person.
Mm-hmm.
How much has he meant to you in your life? How do you feel about it?
Well, I mean, you know, there are a few players that you have come through that I'm probably closer to age than him than anybody on the team. And, you know, I know probably as much about him through Jim Leland. And Jim Leland really kind of gave me the roadmap about Justin. And, you know, I can tell how he feels about his family until he's told me about you. And then I met your mom and dad in Baltimore. And, you know, it means a lot. And his mother, your mother, you know, she was very happy that Justin got that win. But you know, I learned a lot from Justin, and you know, if indeed he's somewhere, I'm gonna miss him. But you know, this game is such where you probably stay in contact with certain guys along the way. So.
Just you touched on the catching a little while ago. A lot was made of the trade that didn't happen at the deadline with Contreras.
Mm-hmm.
But now I understand that you guys might be meeting with him.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of a fit could he be going forward with you guys?
Well, at the time, it's not that I didn't want him. It's just at the time I didn't think it was a proper fit with 2 months to go in the season. You know what I mean? And then you got to learn your pitching staff. You got to learn, you know, how we go about doing things. And I didn't feel that there was enough time, you know, to do that. Now going forward, I mean, yeah, we're going to talk to him, and you know, we have interest in him. And if the numbers are right and the years are right and the situation is right, then right for both of us. And if not, then we still, you know, we still got some catching depth in that situation. But see, people take a no sometime as rejection, and it wasn't about that. It's just the timing wasn't right. I stressed that then, but it didn't come out right. So
You guys see him kind of like the Cubs maybe offered a blue blueprint for how to best get the most out of him? Kept his bat in the lineup, they used the DH spot to rotate him through. Maybe he didn't have to get his war down behind the plate. Is that how you guys would see it fit?
I don't know, man. I got some pretty good DHs already. You know what I mean? So I mean, we'll have to see. You know, I try to keep everybody sharp on my team. You know, and that's, you know, when that happens, I'll figure it out. You know, the Cubs' a different situation than us. You know, so.
A little bit.
Pardon?
A little bit.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, like I said, I'll figure it out. And I've talked to some guys that were big time Contreras fans from Chicago. You know, because I called Lester about him. You know, Lester Strode, because Lester spent as much time with him in the bullpen and catching pitchers and stuff. And Lester is a big Contreras fan, and I mean, he told me he loved the kid. So that was, you know, I called him before I even said what I said earlier. So just maybe a postponement. Who knows?
Hey, Dusty, what's your thoughts? You have a relationship, great relationship. What was your thoughts on the Hall of Fame vote yesterday and Barry moving forward?
Well, I didn't even see it really, because I didn't want to be.
Well, he didn't make it, that's for sure.
Well, I know that, but I mean, I didn't know how close it came or anything. I didn't, and I was glad for Fred McGriff, big time. I was really happy for Fred, and you know, I mean, maybe some days the other greats would get in. You know, like I was pulling for Jeff Kent too. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. But I was also pulling for what the guys like. At some point in time, maybe we can forgive them. What Barry, Sammy, Roger Clemens, and Mark McGwire. I mean, what they meant to baseball and the amount of energy and enjoyment that they gave to the world. I mean, you still can't take that away from them because, man, there were people following baseball during that period of time that weren't even baseball fans. So we can't forget how much they did for the game and how much they made in this game and how they paid you guys and paid me too.
Dusty, after the season that Jeremy had, especially the postseason, what do you see as next steps for him next season?
The next steps are adjustments that he's going to have to make because the league's going to adjust to him. You know, this is what happens. And I'm hoping that he doesn't go on the victory trail too heartily and too heavy where it's natural, where all of a sudden the offseason sneaks up on him and then here comes January and you're not really ready physically or mentally.
So what was your victory trail like? Did you do anything?
Pardon?
What was your victory trail like? Did you do anything particularly different?
Yeah, I mean, you mean this year?
Yeah.
This offseason, my victory trail led straight to my house. I am not lying. I mean, because it was like I couldn't wait to go home. I mean, I could have done some things in Houston, but I mean, I was gone 8 months, man. 8 months is a long time to be away from home. And so, yeah, you know, I just planted my garlic the other day. I'm a month late. Yeah, and I haven't planted my onions yet, so my victory trail led right to the garden. And to my winery, I did go to my winery.
Dusty,
Drank a little wine.
Dusty, how much you thinking about the new rules? And is there one you're looking forward to seeing implemented more than another?
I'm not even thinking about them. You know, I have plenty of time to think about them. I'm thinking about now if I can get in some duck hunting and some fishing. You know what I mean? I'm serious.
You're gonna take
When
a
is
trip
duck
to
season
Kauai,
over?
right?
Yeah, I'm going to Kauai on Friday, so I really ain't thinking about no rules.
Dusty, when you mentioned DH aside from Jordan, who else do you envision having that role that you have right now?
I don't know. You know, we're still talking to Yuli. Could be, you know, Michael Brantley. We're talking to Michael. You know, I mean, and you know, we have some people, but we have some question marks too. So, you know,
How do you size up the bench?
well, that's a question mark. you know. So we're in the process of trying to solve that now.
Anything else, guys?
Otniel Batista en la máquina deportiva.com.